Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Time to look at some trending stories in the world of sport. Let's start with the Uefa Champions League. It's going to be an action-packed night where all the teams playing for tonight will be fighting for honors. They'll be fighting for honor in different stadia across Europe. We'll be starting with our first story, Uefa Champions League. Red Bull Salzburg of Austria they'll be at home against Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia. Chelsea, AC Milan, big one there. Leipzig, Celtic, Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk, Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium where they keep scoring. They'll be playing against FC Copenhagen. Sevilla hosts Borussia Dortmund, Benfica against PSG, and Maccabi Haifa of Israel travel away to Turin to fight against Juventus. Starting from Salzburg story now, that's the match between them and Dinamo Zagreb. Having the studio Yusuf Akogu, who will be giving us more analysis concerning these games. Let's start with you, Yusuf. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Now, these are the matches for tonight, and a lot of people are waiting, I'm sure. Chelsea, AC Milan. But let's start with Salzburg, Dinamo. If you want to look at it, you'll be like, okay, maybe the two teams can just, they kind of meet at the middle.
Absolutely. These are the two teams that are actually in the same category when you're looking at the hierarchy of club football. So I think it's going to be, I don't really think it's going to be, a match to look up to for me, especially, but we'll actually look out for it. But I think it's going to be an interesting game considering their pedigree. So if you ask me to predict, maybe I'll give it to the Zagreb.
Yes, the Croatian team.
Croatian teams. Yes.
That's a good one. Let's see if they actually listen to you. But one of the biggest matches for tonight is between Chelsea and AC Milan. That match, a lot of people want to see. It seems AC Milan, they really got their groove right now. And for Chelsea, it's shaky, a lot of development concerning the backroom issues of Chelsea. And one way or the other, is telling on the players on the pitch concerning their performance, and would they be able at the Stamford Bridge tonight be able to at least come out smoking that we used to know them?
Yes, I think there will be, but I'm not going to be so optimistic about them, because since the exit of Thomas Tuchel, that crisis has not really been properly managed. The new owner has not really been able to manage that crisis properly, so and it's affecting the players' performance on the pitch. So coming up against AC Milan, who we know is one of the biggest team when you're talking about UCL, it's not going to be an easy one for them. They've won it 7 times. So coming back into the competition after a long time absence, it's not going to be an easy one for Chelsea, even though they are at home at Stamford Bridge. It's going to be a very difficult time for them. But I actually think Chelsea, they will be able to come up. But sometimes when you actually rule them out or underestimate them, that is when you see Chelsea coming out top and then giving you that result that you never expected.
Well, we hope to see the Blues against the Rossoneri's, as they call AC Milan. Well, a big one there. And you have RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig will be fighting hard against Celtic. Also, you look at the German team in this competition, they could actually spring up surprises, but even though the likes of Bayern Leverkusen, they've not been pronounced. But RB Leipzig against Celtic, well, they are always one of the best in Scottish League. Yes. And Celtic, you think Scottish League, you think Celtic and Rangers, maybe Aberdeen. Yeah, I remember when we were very young, a lot of people never knew that a team is called Dundee United. They used that to actually abuse a lot of people. You like Dundee United because they were not performing well then.
Absolutely. If you're not performing, they call you Dundee.
Seriously.
There's not knowing that that's the name of a football club in faraway Europe. The German
Leipzig
guy, RB, Leipzig is going to be, I think it's going to be an easy ride for them against the Celtic.
Are you so sure?
Yes, because, when you're putting them side by side, the German team and the Scottish team, in terms of category, you cannot actually, measure them. But football is not mathematics, remember. So going into this game tonight, I do not think it's going to be difficult for the German, guys to get the result that they need, because right now they've not really been doing so well in the competition. So playing against Celtic at home, I think it gives them that advantage, to get that result that will probably, give them an opportunity or a chance for them to get to the round of 16.
Well, While we're talking about that, perennial winners, Real Madrid, the Los Blancos or Los Merengue, you want to call them, they'll be at home against Shakhtar Donetsk. And I'm sure it's going to be a match that Europe want to see. Are they really going to continue with this their winning streak or what? Against Shakhtar, who are always, is like having perennial winners versus perennial team that they always come there. They always play every year. Shakhtar Donetsk of Ukraine always come for Champions League. But they can speak of surprises.
Absolutely, they are the biggest, club in Ukraine. They've produced quite a lot of good players. Around Julius Agahua was one on time. The Fred of currently play for Manchester United. So it's going to be a very tricky game because now they are motivated by what's going on in their country. They want to put smiles on their people's faces, and if they've gotten some very good results against Real Madrid. So it's a game that one cannot really predict.
They no longer have that fear against the Los Blancos.
Yes, the fear may not be there, but again,
it's Real Madrid.
Two of them actually they are becoming like a rival. They almost meet almost every season of UCL. So again tonight, they are meeting again tonight, and I really do not think it's going to be an easy ride for
Real Madrid.
Yes,
well, I expect at least some performance from them, knowing fully well that this Shakhtar team always want to tighten us to one corner. We won't agree with them. We are the champions of Europe. We want to prove to them that we are the champions.
Yes, they will have that at the back of their mind, and they've been doing so well so far this season. They are yet to drop any point at all in our competition, and then going into this game tonight with that kind of optimism, I think it won't be easy for Shakhtar, but it's a difficult one to call for me, given the previous meeting between these two teams. So I really don't want to put my money on any of them.
Okay, good one there. Let's just to let you know, we have to run through all the games. Man City will be playing against Copenhagen. You have to appreciate the fact that matches will be coming up. And for Man City, they've been on ramping when it comes to scoring goal. Erling Haaland, will he be scoring again tonight? It is very possible. Fantastic player, the giant of Manchester City. Sevilla, Borussia Dortmund, Benfica, PSG. Maybe you should talk on this before I will allow you to go out of the studio. Benfica, PSG.
Yes, Benfica, PSG, of course, it's going to be a very close game. Benfica, PSG. I think when you look at the quality that the PSG has, I think you give it to them. But again, you can't rule out Benfica. So it's going to be a very close tie. And if you talk about Manchester City and FC Copenhagen of Denmark, the Denmark champion, I think it's another night that night that we'll see Haaland again, doing so well. I hope he doesn't score double hat-trick tonight. Well,
let's see if Haaland will be scoring a double hat-trick tonight. Wonderful time with Yusuf Koglu there. Thank you very much for at least coming to talk about this. I really do appreciate.
Pleasure being here.
Good one there. Now we go on a short break to let you have a feel of what we'll be looking at next. Let's enjoy some Scrabble. We'll be right back. But just to let you have a feel of some Scrabble there. You seriously, this is a sport really gaining momentum. Nigeria, as we know, one of the best in the world in this particular sport. Even if you don't want to believe it, we have really done well. We had world champion in Scrabble from Nigeria, the likes of Jigere Wellington. But right now, we'll be unveiling the president as the Lekki Scrabble Club, who will be giving us some of the activities that have to do with Scrabble and also the development of this sport in Nigeria. Well, good to have you in the studio in the person of Ebikeme Adowe.
Thank you very much.
Yes, how does engineering meet Scrabble?
Oh, well, engineering is my first calling, my profession. I get my daily bread from engineering.
Okay, but sport?
Yeah, it's my hobby.
Okay, let's talk about Scrabble development in Nigeria. When you look at this sport, a lot of people still see Scrabble as if it's just a fun sport. Meanwhile, it's a sport that brings food to the table of so many people across the world. And it's high time that Nigerians should begin to see it as a real sport.
Yes, you're right. You're right. It's a fun sport, like you said. Typically played in informal setting at home, but there's the competitive side, which many people don't know about and don't follow because it's not really a spectator sport. And so that's what those involved in the management of the game are trying to develop, make it a spectator sport such that people can follow, like football, boxing, basketball, and the likes. Yes.
Okay, now, like I said, in Nigeria, the development of this sport, I think, is gaining momentum one way or the other. Because recently we saw the qualifiers for the African Scrabble Championship that will be going to Zambia for. Exactly. And we also saw Nigeria at least winning the West African Scrabble Championship and a whole lot of others. In fact, one of the events, you are the president of Lekki Scrabble Club.
Yes.
We just saw there, that's Lekki Scrabble Championship
Classics.
That took place in her Classic. Can you explain more concerning, it's going to be 2-in-1, the Lekki Scrabble Classics and also Scrabble development in Nigeria?
Okay, yes. So the Lekki Scrabble Classics is an initiative from the Lekki Scrabble Club. It started in 2018. It used to be a quarterly event, but now it's a biennial event. This event was initiated to promote Scrabble, especially in urban settings like Lekki, where I preside, and the rest of my club members. So it's a tournament meant to initiate the newbies, you know, and even existing professional Scrabble players to Scrabble, first-class tournament Scrabble, where you have a conducive environment, you have good entertainment in terms of refreshments and what have you, so that, you know, your mental capacities are fully ready to, to really play the game, because the game is a mentally taxing game. And it's fun also. So when you have all these factors, you know, to enable you bring out the best in your play, it would make you excel. So that's one thing Lekki Scrabble Club tries to do, to enable people play that Scrabble at a top level and bring out the best in them.
Okay, while we've talked about Lekki now, let's talk about Nigerian Scrabble, because I see you wearing Nigerian Scrabble Federation shirt.
Okay,
so let's talk about...
we're affiliated to, all Scrabble clubs are affiliated to Nigerian Scrabble Federation. It's our parent body. So the federation, you know, chaired by engineer Toke Aka, is doing a lot to promote Scrabble in Nigeria. And they have many programs in place, several tournaments, and they collaborate with clubs, you know, to bring these tournaments to fruition, you know. And they also sponsor, Nigerian players to international tournaments like the African Championship that will be coming up in a few days' time, you know. And due to their support, Nigeria has done very well. Like you rightly said, we've produced a world champion, person of Jigere Wellington. This was in 2015. And so we don't just want to stop there. We want to bring out more champions. You know, we've been winning the African champions, for the African championships for the past, 9 years consecutively.
That's Nigeria.
In Nigerian, yes. You know, Nigerians, in fact, we've been finishing in the top 10 bracket, you know. So we've been excelling, and we want to continue So part of the initiative is to reach out to the grassroots, schools, institutions, and all that. And the Federation is really doing a lot to promote this game.
Now, promoting Scrabble, as you mentioned schools, clubs, and all that. From all the clubs you have in Nigeria, Scrabble clubs, do they have something like league that they run, like competition between all the clubs that now look like a league?
Yes. The Nigerian Scrabble Federation has an inter-club competition. There's one that is currently ongoing right now. So that also supports the game. Private individuals, like organization like Mind Games International, also has its own league, and so we have varieties. The more the merrier, like they say.
Okay, now when it comes to Scrabble, internationally, English is not our language. Before it was adopted as our official language. I'm talking about native language now. But it's so surprising how Nigerians really have done well in this sport that we can be, in fact, I can beat my chest to say Nigeria, we are the world champion when it comes to Scrabble sport.
Yes. What
has been the secret?
Okay, like you rightly said, we are judged as the best Scrabble playing nation in the world. Nigerians naturally are resilient, We are naturally endowed. We are intelligent people, and so whatever we put our minds to do, we always excel. I would say sometimes too hardship, in quotes,
pushes you to be the best.
Yes. Certain situations in Nigeria, makes anybody that is determined. I haven't survived all the hardships and struggles and everything. When it comes to competition, it makes you rugged and excel.
I like that word, rugged. So that's where the ruggedness, the ruggedness of all the hardship now push Nigerian to go into sport. But really, like a lot of people see that, okay, let's just use it to while away time or worries or anxiety, and before you know it, they become a pro in this particular sport. I'm sure if they ask most of the players, majority of them will be like, well, I was just playing it like, let me just use it either while away time or set me free from thinking or getting depressed or all that. But today, we have world champions coming from Nigeria. And now, the acceptance of this in schools, how has it been, this particular sport?
It's quite encouraging because I know in my time, when I was growing up in school, we didn't have Scrabble clubs.
Nobody came to show you that.
Yes. We're just playing it at home informally and stuff. But now, you have schools, you even have dedicated Scrabble coaches that teach these children from the cradle the rudiments of the game. And we also have competitions where these children participate in, like spelling bee tournament and the rest, youth championships, and they've been excelling. Even the World Youth Championship, they've been exposed to that, and we hope that in the future we'll be able to produce a youth champion from Nigeria. From Nigeria.
Yes. But is there any category of youth championship? Like, has it been created?
Yes. There is a youth championship.
Okay.
Yes. So we have youth championships locally, and even in the
internationally.
Yes.
Wow.
Internationally, yes. We've had some youths representing us,
at the youth international level now.
Yes. Though we are yet to produce a youth champion, but we hope that as we catch more talents and expose them, we would one day produce a world youth champion, just as we have at the senior level.
We've been talking with the president of Lekki Scrabble Club, who has been with us here, and we've been having a nice time talking to at least trying to understand the sport called Scrabble. Really, Nigerians are very good in this sport. As we speak right now, some of them will be going to Zambia, Lusaka precisely, to compete for in the African Scrabble Championship, where they'll be taking place. The qualifier just took place some times back, and to let you know that in West Africa, we are the champion. At the world level, we were once champion, and even now, we are judged one of the best when it comes to this sport called Scrabble. No matter how you want to underrate Scrabble, Nigerians are very good at it, and really, it's a sport that has to do with business. Now, let's look at the business of Scrabble. Has there been any, maybe, you know, at times you can't do it alone? Like Nigerian Scrabble Federation can't do it alone. We know what it takes to go for events, to represent Nigeria and all that. What has it been? The Federal Ministry, the Nigerian Scrabble Federation. Okay,
Nigerian Scrabble Federation is a body under the Ministry of Sports. So the Ministry of Sports supports the Nigerian Scrabble Federation, especially at times when we need to go for international competitions, you know. But sometimes the funding will come in late, so the federation has to source for funds. So the president, along with his executives, you know, board members, you know, rally around corporate organizations, some state governments, you know, to raise these funds, and they've achieved some considerable, you know, success. But like I said, there's still more that needs to be done in terms of attracting the sponsorship, especially from corporate organizations and the government. Timely sponsorship. There's still more
timely intervention should be, at least let it be timely, so that the athletes can easily go there to compete in Scrabble. Now, the Lekki Scrabble Club in Lagos, I'm sure one of the clubs there.
Yes.
How paramount is it in Lagos? Before we bring it to Nigeria.
Okay, well, yeah, like I said, in terms of competition, I mean, our tournaments, yeah, we stand out. Yeah, but in terms of the caliber of players, I mean, at that standard, you know, the number of players we have at that top standard, masters category, we are still upcoming, you know. Like I told you, I'm a professional engineer, so Scrabble is a hobby for me. So I don't really have that side to
play as a professional.
To play at that yes, to play at that professional, play at that top level. So in terms of that, we are trying to build ourselves, and that's why part of the reasons why we organize our classics tournament, so as to attract players that can also, you know, compete with us and give us that exposure to top-class Scrabble, and also develop our potentials.
Okay, good one. Now, our time is almost running out, but let's look at, for a layman out there watching, who doesn't even know Scrabble, okay, English word, you start to do this. I'm sure you have categories. You just mentioned masters just now.
Yes, yes.
Can you outline category before you can turn a pro or after pro? What do you?
Okay, all right. So, as for categorization in Nigerian Scrabble setting, we have the opens category. So we have this rating system. So if you have rating points from 1,099 and below, you know, you are in the opens category.
Okay, that's where you can be competing.
Yeah, yeah. No, there are some tournaments where when we say it's an open tournament,
anybody can come.
Yeah, all categories play amongst themselves.
Okay.
Right. But for the very first category we have, you know, it's called the opens category. So from rating points 1,099 and below, you are in the opens category. So if you have rating points from 1,100 to 1,399, you are in the intermediate category.
Intermediate.
Yes. Then from 1,400 and above, you are in the masters category.
Wow.
Yes.
So it means from your analysis now, the Open Championship from 1,099 downward.
Yes.
Open category. Intermediate from 1,100 straight down to 1,399.
Yes.
You are intermediate. Yes. And the masters, they are from 1,400 upward.
Yes.
Professionals, right?
Yes. Those are people we term as professionals. Although we have some, I mean, your regular working class people who have made it to that level, putting a lot of investments and all that to build themselves up to that level. Yeah, while we have a couple that are still in intermediate and open Scrabble.
Okay, I want you to do something for me before we wrap it up right now. Two-in-one question. Is it FIDE master or feed master? What do you guys call it?
That one has to do with chess.
Oh, okay, that's chess, right? Yes. Okay, now, your advice to the youth out there concerning going into Scrabble, so that we use that to wrap it up.
Okay, yeah, I would recommend Scrabble to them. It's an intellectual game, you know. One, you learn strategy, because it's not just forming words. You play the words to outscore your opponent, you know. And so the way the board is arranged, you know, you have premium squares and all that. So it helps your thinking process, you know. In my field, engineering, you know, it's problem solving. You think a lot, do a lot of calculations and all that. So I like that part of Scrabble, where you strategize. You want to optimize, you want to get your maximum scores. So you target those premium squares and your plays. And then the next thing is word power, you know. You have to know a lot of words. The dictionary is so vast. We have dedicated Scrabble dictionaries, not like your regular Oxford or
Advanced Learner.
Webster's and the rest. We have dedicated Scrabble dictionaries. Like the one we use in Nigeria is the Collins Scrabble word list, you know. And this Scrabble dictionary is updated every four years, you know. Words can be added, words can be removed. So you just have to keep reading to keep abreast of these developments, you know. Like I said, I would recommend this to the youth because one, you hone your strategy thinking skills, and then word power. You know, you don't necessarily have to know the meaning of the words, but you just know those words are playable. You know the various hooks, you know syndromes and all those things. So I mean, it's very interesting. Ever since I started playing competitive Scrabble, I'll say my life has not been the same again.
Good morning there, coming from a big always telling us about Scrabble. It has been a wonderful one having him in the studio. For you out there, don't take Scrabble just as fun sport, take it as a business. You can make a living from it. Good morning there. Once again, we want to appreciate your time on the show.
Thank you very much.
I am Ac Milan. Thanks for watching.